Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm going to be your host for today's talk, where I will actually show a sample for how exactly the CTF can be played. Like right now, you are doing it Hack the Box. So it's just a sample where we would try and unleash how exactly we play CTF. So let's get straight into it.
Now, why am I actually concentrating on CTF success? Because we want to make sure that we play a lot of CTFs and we take part in it. There are a lot of people who reach out to us and ask, how can I play CTF? We do a lot of workshops around ethical hacking, CTF 101s, and DevSecOps fundamentals workshops. So, this is one portion which we have picked. And with Hack the Box, there are so many virtual machines and boxes which are there, which you can explore and figure out the issues in them, as well as you can play CTF with Hack the Box. So today we would be starting off with the very basics and share one of those challenges. So a little bit about me. I'm one of the security advocates at Snyk, where I help them getting the word out about security. We do write a lot of blogs, we do sessions, we do create a lot of content around security, and that's where I am, a security advocate at Snyk. I'm also one of the global board of directors at OWASP, which is Open Worldwide Application Security Project. So today, as part of the agenda, we would be learning what is capture the flag, and why do we want to get the flag, and what is flag anyway. We would also be solving one of the challenges as part of our Snyk CDF, and then what do we do after learning, or where do we go after from there. So let's learn about what is a flag anyway. So can anyone one of you tell that what is a flag? Flag is where you can figure out a hidden treasure. Let's put it this way. So CTF is where you try to solve the challenge. So capture the flag. Now here there are multiple players who are playing this game and trying to figure out that unique puzzle. Now, this is a platform that we use for running the CTF, and there are multiple challenges as part of it. Right now, if you can see on the screen, there are two challenges which will come up because we've only enabled two of the challenge. I'm an admin, so I can see admin panel and I can play around with the challenges. But there are two challenges here right now, and I'm going to be solving one of those challenges. Based on the points, the challenge differs. So you can see it's a 50 points, so it could be easier. Depends on the way it is set up. So let's go ahead and explore it. Now here, when you explore, what do you see? Right now, what I can see is that there is a URL that is there on the screen. So here, invisible CTF. Okay. Now I can see that there is a request and response. So the request section has a post request with an endpoint echo. Now there's also a content type application JSON and a body message, which is ping. So there's a request response, and in the request, this is what we see. Now, the response that we are getting from the request is the following. We have an interesting bit in this particular response, a flag uh, which says disabled, but then there's a user IP, there's a timestamp, but the flag says disabled, which means we need to enable that flag. So the flag is the key, the value is disabled. Maybe we could try to change it, we could try to manipulate. But what we need to do is first we need to try and play around with this endpoint that we see, which is slash echo endpoint. We can't make a post request by using a web browser. So we need to use maybe a curl command, or what we can do is we can actually leverage tools like Postman. So they're really good for helping us out with these kind of requests. Now, let me go ahead and get my screen here where I can show you how we can run the curl command. But yes, you can use your Postman, you can use, or you can leverage any other tool that you want. So give me 1 second. Let me just move it here on the screen. And I hope you all can see. Let me just zoom it a bit because I like zooming the screen so that everyone can see it. All right. Now I'm using, if you see slash echo, let's see if it works. Now cannot get slash echo, which means here we just try to get a, try to use a get command. But specifically, we need to define the post command. So curl -x post and then this particular command, and let's see if it gives us something. If you see that it has given us a header where it says HTTP query content type and give us some information. Now it also gives us information that we can put a header as well. So let's go ahead and play around with the request and put a header type which is application JSON, because we know that there was a JSON that was used. Okay, which is here. Let me just put enter and see what it gives us. So if you see, it has given us some information. Now with that information, right now I can see the flag is disabled. So when I see the flag is disabled, we can probably try and enable the flag. So it says message ping, and now I'm going to add a tag which is with flag support and maybe enabled. All right, so we have enabled the flag. All the codes are perfect. Let's put it at enter. Now, if you see, right now also it's disabled, which means we can try something else. Let's go ahead and see if we can maybe just say true. Sometimes those things work. All right, let's see if it works. It still did not work. Now, which means we need to look for some other information. And let's go ahead and get some more information from the challenge. Let's go to the challenge. Now, when I go to the challenge, I can see there are two files which are also being given. Let's go ahead and download index.js, which I've already downloaded, and then the package.json. Let's look at the most interesting bit where we are going to be analyzing these particular two files. So here, if you can see on the screen that we have opened index.js and package.json. And what I'm going to do with these two files, I'm going to first of all analyze. So let's go ahead and analyze index.js. What information does it give? So it actually gives me information about that it's using Express framework. There's a body parser, there's a Lodash, which is there. And then I can see that they're using post request slash echo is there. Then there is a flag which is there, which is disabled, which we tried enabling, but that was not happening. Now let's look at the packet.json. So I can see that there is a Lodash, there's an express, there's a body parser, and these are three dependencies. Now, first thing, when I look at these dependencies, what I do is I want to check out whether is there any vulnerability in them or not. So why do I actually check for it? Because these vulnerable dependencies can give me a wide area to play around or give me a good amount of information. So here, as soon as I loaded, Snyk started scanning because I use Snyk to get me the information about dependencies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply go ahead and run a Snyk test and see what all vulnerabilities are there. All right, so it actually has given me some good amount of information. So what I can see is that there's a Lodash vulnerability which is related to regular expression, denial of service. Then there's a command injection. There's a prototype pollution. Now, prototype is one of those prototype pollution is one of those vulnerability which are picking up big time, especially in the NPM ecosystem. And we know that it's using an Express framework and it is based on Node, so we can play around with it. And let's go ahead and take a look at Lodash itself. So Lodash, this particular version, which has a vulnerability. Now, whenever I am in trouble or I am stuck somewhere, what I do is I go and check Snyk database. All right, so let me go ahead and go check out Snyk vulnerability database, where I can look for this particular vulnerability, which is Lodash at OK. But then let me search with Lodash if I can figure out. So if you see with Lodash, there are a lot of vulnerabilities which have come. And especially if you see, there are a lot of prototype pollution. So I want to know about prototype pollution. Now, prototype pollution is a vulnerability affecting JavaScript and refers to the ability to inject properties into existing JavaScript language. And there are magical attributes which we can play around. So proto, constructor, and prototype. So where we can manipulate. I'm an attacker here and I want to play. So probably I can play around with proto, constructor, or prototype. So these are unsafe objects, and you can see that why or how exactly I can play around with it. Like I can actually add this particular this particular object into the payload and play around with it and see if it works. Now, if you see, as soon as I actually used that particular command with proto, I was able to get this flag. Now, let's use this flag first of all and see if it works. So I'm going to use Snyk. I'm going to use it till here, and I'm going to put it in my challenge because I need to save time. So I'm going to submit and see if it works. Now I have submitted, and as soon as I submit, it says correct. And on screen, if you look at, it says invisible ink done. If you want to know more about, we have an academy where you can learn about all of these issues. So Snyk Learn is there. So there are these things which you can take a look at it. Now it's on you to take a look at it. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me and the CTF 101, and where we were unleashing first challenge. There are many more to go. Keep playing CTFs. Thank you.